you to do something for me right now. Walk to wherever you keep your supplements. Open the drawer, the cabinet, the basket on the counter, or wherever they live. How many bottles are in there? If you're anything like the women I talk to, the answer is somewhere between 6 and 20. And if I ask you to defend every single one, and tell me what it does, can you confidently answer the question for all of them? When did you decide to purchase these? Did they come from a podcast recommendation, a social media post, a moment of perimenopause panic at 2 a.m.? Americans spend over $50 billion a year on dietary supplements. Women in midlife are among the highest spenders, and the supplement industry is almost entirely unregulated in the way that most of us assume it is. Today, we're going into that drawer. We're going to talk about what the industry actually is, what the research actually supports, and how to walk away with a supplement routine that's intentional, evidence-backed, and a whole lot cheaper. Welcome back to Rooted and Rising. My name is Lamisa. This is episode 3 of The Real Cost of Wellness, the Supplement Industrial Complex. Let's get into it. Let's start with something that surprises most people. Dietary supplements in the United States are not regulated the same way pharmaceutical drugs are. The FDA does not approve supplements before they go to the market. Manufacturers are not required to prove that their products are safe or effective before selling them to you. Under the Dietary Supplement Health and Education Act of 1994, the burden of proof is essentially reversed. The FDA can only take action against a supplement after it's already on the market and there's evidence of harm, which means what's sitting in your drawer right now has never been independently verified to contain what the label says it contains and the amount the label claims, with the effect the marketing promises. I want to let that land for a moment because this isn't a fringe claim or a conspiracy theory. It's a federal law, and it's the foundation on which a $50 billion industry is built. Now, supplements are not all bad. Some are genuinely valuable. Some have robust clinical research behind them. The problem is that the industry makes it very difficult to tell the difference between the ones that work and the ones that are beautifully packaged hope. And that confusion, again, is not accidental. If you've been listening to this series, you already know that the fear, identity, and complexity are the 3 pricing levers the wellness industry uses. The supplement industry uses all 3, and it uses them better than almost anyone else. Fear, your cortisol is through the roof. Your mitochondria are aging faster than they should. Estrogen dominance is quietly wrecking your metabolism. These claims are designed to create urgency around a threat you can't see or measure without the product being sold to you. And for women in perimenopause who are experiencing real, confusing, sometimes frightening body changes, this language lands particularly hard. I'm not saying cortisol doesn't matter. I'm saying that the claim that a $70 adaptogen blend will fix it is doing significantly more work than the adaptogen. Identity, biohacker, longevity optimized, hormonal warrior. The supplement industry has mastered the art of selling identity through a bottle. When you buy a beautifully branded supplement with a name like Glow Protocol or Hormone Harmony, part of what you're purchasing is a story about who you are and how seriously you take your health. Again, that's not nothing, but it's worth knowing that's what you're buying. Complexity. The supplement space is deliberately confusing. Proprietary blends hide individual ingredient dosages. Clinical sounding language appears on products with no clinical research. Influencer partnerships create the illusion of endorsement without disclosure. And the sheer volume of products makes comparison almost impossible for the average consumer. A confused consumer is a spending consumer. The industry knows this. So let's talk about what actually have evidence behind it, specifically for women navigating perimenopause and menopause, because there are supplements with real robust research, and knowing which ones they are is the whole point of this episode. Magnesium. This is probably the most underrated supplement for midlife women. Magnesium plays a role in over 300 enzymatic reactions in the body, including sleep regulation, stress response, muscle functions, and blood sugar management. Research supports its use for improving sleep quality, reducing anxiety symptoms, and easing muscle cramps. Many women are deficient without knowing it, particularly those under chronic stress. Forms matter. Magnesium glycinate is generally best tolerated for sleep and anxiety. Magnesium citrate for digestive support. Magnesium oxide has the cheapest and most common, the lowest bioavailability, which is worth knowing before you buy. Vitamin D deficiency is extremely common, particularly in women over 40, and particularly in those who live in northern climates or spend limited time outdoors. Research links adequate vitamin D to bone density, immune function, mood regulation, and cardiovascular health, all the areas of heightened relevance during perimenopause and beyond, paired with K2 for optimal calcium metabolism and bone support. Get your levels tested before supplementing. The therapeutic dose varies significantly depending on your baseline, and more is not always better. Omega-3 fatty acids. Among the most studied supplement in existence, research supports omega-3s for cardiovascular health, inflammation reduction, brain function, and mood, all of which shifts during hormonal transition. Look for fish oil with at least 1,000 milligrams combined EPA and DHA from a brand that does third-party testing for purity. Algae-based omega-3s are the evidence-backed option for those who don't consume fish, like me. Creatine. This one surprises people. But the research on creatine for women in midlife is increasingly compelling. Studies support its role in preserving muscle mass, cognitive functions, and reducing fatigue, all areas where estrogen decline creates real vulnerability. Dr. Stacy Sims has been vocal about creatine relevance for perimenopausal women specifically. Worth a conversation with your practitioner. What needs more scrutiny? Collagen peptides are popular, but the research on whether oral collagen actually reaches your skin and joints in meaningful amounts is still evolving. Biotin for hair loss, often the first thing women reach for. But hair loss in perimenopause is frequently hormonal, not a biotin deficiency. Treating the symptoms without addressing the root cause is expensive and ineffective. And the broad category of hormone balancing supplements like maca, DIM, chasteberry all have some research, but the evidence base is thin and the marketing is far ahead of the science. All right, let's make this actionable. Here is a simple audit process for your supplement drawer. Can you do this? Pull everything out. Line every bottle on the counter so you can see all of them at once. Then go through each one and ask 3 questions. First, why am I taking this? Not why you started, why you're still taking it. If you can't answer that question specifically, that's information. Second, is there research behind this or marketing? A quick search for this supplement name plus clinical trial or systematic review will tell you a lot. If the only results are the brand's own website and wellness influencer posts, that's telling. Third, have I noticed any difference since I started taking this? Not a placebo adjacent feeling of doing something, an actual, specific change. If the answer is genuinely no after 3 to 6 months, you have your answer. Then, and this is the step most people skip, bring what's left to your doctor, your OBGYN, or a functional medicine practitioner you trust. Not to get permission, but to get input. Supplements interact with medication. Some affect hormone levels. Some are contraindicated with specific health conditions. A practitioner who can see your full picture is a irreplaceable resource that no supplement brand can replace. Let me paint you a picture of what a clean, intentional supplement routine looks like, because it is not a full cabinet or a subscription box. It's 3 to 5 supplements, each with a clear reason and research behind it. Discuss with someone who knows your health history. Brands that do third-party testing. Look for NSF certified for sports, USP verified, or informed sports certification on the label. Those third-party seals mean someone independent verified that what's on the label is actually in the bottle. It's also a whole lot cheaper than what most of us are currently spending. When I consolidated my own supplement routine down to the essentials, I cut my monthly supplement spending by more than half. And I felt no different, because the things I cut weren't doing what I thought they were doing. The goal is not to be anti-supplement. The goal is to be supplement consumers who spends on outcomes, not on anxiety. And that shift from reactive spending to intentional spending is exactly what this entire series is about. Here's your takeaway from today. Open your drawer, ask the 3 questions. Keep what you can define, let go of what you can't, and take the short list to someone who can actually help you personalize it. The supplement industry is counting on your confusion. Today, you got a little less confused. That's worth something. Next episode, we're going into one of my favorite conversations in the entire series. Episode 4. Food as medicine versus reactive healthcare. We're going to connect your grocery cart directly to your long-term financial health. And I think it's going to reframe how you think about your food budget permanently. If this episode helped you see your supplement drawer differently, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Leave a review if you have a minute. It genuinely helps more women find this show. And come find me at Lamisa Wellness Collective on Facebook and Lamisa Caradine on LinkedIn and Instagram. I want to hear what you found in your drawer. I'll see you next time. Stay rooted, keep rising.